Hello, hello. Hey guys. So give me just a minute. I am looking for a post real quick before we get started. Hope everybody's doing well today. I got to tell you, getting back into the swing of things has been a little challenging for me. I don't know about you guys, but I almost wish like we could have stayed in that not sure what I'm supposed to be doing right now spot, between Christmas and New Year's. Okay, so we are in webinar format right now because what we figured out when it came to doing these meetings and these calls and conversations with Carmen is not everybody was getting the replay. There was something going on with the CSV file to export. So I want to just encourage you guys to put any questions in the Q&A. And then when you put something in the chat, let me take a look here because I still want to be able to have the conversations. And I can move you to panelists where we can talk and things like that. So if you have a need and it's something you want feedback on, I do offer some hot seat coaching in here if I feel like it's suitable and can fit into what we're talking about today. So as a reminder, lots of people might be new to me. I'm Carmen Hunter, the founder of the Institute for Functional Health Coaching and Carmen Hunter Health and the Health Coach Mentorship and Mastery Group. I am a tell it like it is, no BS health coach that is here just to guide you guys, to provide information and to have some real conversations about what's going on in the wellness industry and health coaching as a whole. So one of the comments, and let me just say, I've got my coffee here. I'm trying a new creamer today. This is organic conversation. Anything goes. The dog might bark. The doorbell may ring. I don't know. I may get thirsty. I don't know. So we're just here to have a conversation and to connect with each other. So in the chat, here's what I need from you guys is just say hello and let me know, are you a practitioner or are you a health coach? And just kind of just tell me a little bit about yourself and tell me who's here, okay? So I got a new creamer today. It's the Cashew Forager half and half. Has anybody ever tried that? Hi, Shannon. Has anybody tried that creamer? I have played around with creamers for almost a decade or more now. And I was using the oat creamer and I really love it, really, really love it. But it's got too many carbohydrates in it for me. So I'm moving to try some other things. And this Cashew Forager creamer only has like 1 gram in it. So share your thoughts and ideas about creamers that are non-dairy, okay? So I'm looking for things that don't have fillers. So happy to, oh good, you guys are chatting. Hi guys. Okay, all right, so let me take a sip of my coffee because it's yummy. And I actually like it. I like that creamer. All right, and even if you are just a tea drinker, I'm sure you probably use creamer too, so share that with me. All right, so I'm going into Claudia Petrelli, and I don't know if she's here right now. Say hi if you are, Claudia. I can't see who's attending, but I'm going to open up her post, and it's in the Health Coach Mentorship and Mastery Group. If you are not a member of the Health Coach Mentorship and Mastery Group, I will grab you a link, and I will, unless somebody else wants to grab it and plug it in, but I'll grab you a link and plug it in, and you can check it out. You should be, because that's where all of the smart coaches live. And so her post in the group was enough to make me want to have a conversation. Typically, I'll go live into that group and answer it there. But what I'm going to do instead is answer it a little bit more thoroughly here and then share that in the group there. So, all right. So she's saying, I'm seeing an influx of hate towards health coaches lately. And I got to say, it's pretty disheartening. Do you think it's because coaches are not staying in their lane, giving meal plans, diagnosing, or because other practitioners are feeling threatened? And then it says, do we fault all the schools not giving the right info on how to practice safely? The companies like Arbonne, who allow their consultants to call themselves health coaches. Not sure that if this is entirely true. How do we move forward? I do my best to stay educated and I'm careful about the info I share, listing sources and studies, and try not to be black and white. But man, it's stressful to constantly walk on eggshells. This is a really good topic because there's like 29 comments below that. Lots of people sharing, insight and opinions and all of that. I haven't had time to look through it all, but I'm happy to. I'll look at it later. But I want to share my own opinion on this. And as I usually do, when I look at questions like this, I like to break them apart. And if you have questions about the things I say, put them in the Q&A or the chat, wherever you want, and I'll check on that as well. So this is just my opinion, you guys. And whenever you join me on things like this is just my opinion. It only holds weight for you if you adopt it as your own or if it resonates for you at all. And again, over 10 years of health coaching, I've seen it all. I've worked with hundreds of clients, and I can't even begin to tell you the amount of conditions and diseases and symptoms and problems that I've worked with. But I've also done more work on the business side since 2013 in the health and wellness industry than I even care to admit. Like I've literally exhausted myself over the years learning about things just like this topic right here, and gone through my own stuff with this kind of thing. So here's what I want to say. Do I think it's because coaches are not staying in their lane, giving meal plans, diagnosing, etc.? I think that's a very big part of it. One of the reasons why I think it's a big part is because I've spent the last few months interviewing and talking to practitioners, and this has been one of the complaints from doctors, naturopathic doctors, functional medicine doctors. It's been one of their complaints is like, they're afraid to bring health coaches in. Thank you, Shannon, for sharing that. Or actually, I think, is that the sales page? You gotta share the sales page too, if you have it. But the thing is that they are concerned because here's the deal, you guys. A couple of thoughts about this is, one, I want you to put yourself in the practitioner's shoes or the doctor's shoes about this topic. We get our panties in a bunch over here about the multi-level marketing people calling themselves health coaches. The people that are selling things at GNC or whatever, saying that they're a health coach because they stock the shelves with supplements or whatever it is. I have read more health coaches saying, how dare you call yourself a health coach? Did you go to a program and get certified? I spent $5,000 on my education. You're not a health coach. Same thing for doctors. They're feeling the same way. And, many years ago, when I started into this business part of learning about what's going on in our industry, I was kind of the same way. I can probably find a post from myself when I was a health coach going, I have worked my ass off to learn all this stuff. How dare these people, say they know anything about health? I got myself all in a twist about it too. And so here's what I want to say, you guys, is it's doing you more harm than it is them to worry about what they're doing in grocery stores, right? And what they're offering and what their multi-level marketing title is and all that. And I say the same thing for practitioners. It's more harmful to think about what health coaches could be doing or could be doing wrong or saying wrong than it is to just continue to face forward and move on. So yes, I believe that they do feel threatened, and not threatened, bitter, angry, frustrated at the fact that health coaches are stepping out of their lane. But I also say that's their responsibility not to get sidetracked by what health coaches are doing. But again, let's just remember this. We don't belong diagnosing and prescribing and giving meal plans and doing all of that. So if you are a health coach and you're out there doing these things, and I know Claudia doesn't, Claudia 100% I think does an amazing job of staying safe. She knows what to do. She's gone through my safety course and all of that kind of stuff. She knows what to do. But so many health coaches out there are not following the scope of profession. Now, let's touch on the scope of profession for a minute, because here's the thing. There is no scope of profession for health coaches, you guys. And again, staying in line with truth telling, we get to make it up. As a person who runs a school, the Institute for Functional Health Coaching, and teaches safety as the foundation of your business, it is in everything I teach. I get to make up my own scope of profession for health coaches because we're not regulated. So when we say operating outside of scope of profession, it's very gray. And I think that's another reason why practitioners and doctors and dietitians and nutritionists and all those people might be having problems, is because there is no regulation. So people are out there doing whatever they want to do, diagnosing, prescribing, giving meal plans and supplements, and telling people how to, detox their liver and all of these medical things and nutritionist things and dietitian things, without any real idea of what it really takes to understand those things to the depth, right? Very deep down. So of course they're getting their panties in a twist about health coaches. So the thing is for me is this, I don't have time for people getting upset with what I do. I don't have time for getting upset about what other people do. I think this is a really good post and a lesson for all of us to not only stay in our lane as far as the profession that we're practicing. So if you're a naturopathic doctor or you're a massage therapist, or, this is open to anyone in the wellness industry. So we have more than coaches on here. Then we need to stay in our lane, but we also need to stay in our yard as far as what we're doing with our business. The more focus we put on what's going on outside of us, the harder it is to stay and maintain focus with what we're doing in our business, right? So yes, I think that that's part of it, but I also think there's a responsibility to everyone outside of us to stay in their own lane, in their own yard with everything as well. Like, stop focusing on what health coaches are doing. Focus on what you're doing, right? Health coaches, stop focusing on what multi-level marketing, Arbonne, GNC sellers are doing, and stay focused on what you're doing. So are they feeling threatened by health coaches? I don't think so. I think that there are some instances where they might feel threatened because, and maybe more so with dietitians, dietitianists, and is that a word? Dietitians and nutritionists. I'm getting it all mixed up here. Maybe they might be feeling more threatened. I would not say that practitioner doctors would be, but because we know what we're talking about. Okay. So it's kind of a compliment. If you're feeling threatened by my knowledge of the endocrine system or my knowledge of, you know, food or whatever it is, then that's kind of a compliment to me. That means that I'm presenting myself in a way that shows you that I know what I'm talking about, that I've done the work to learn, that I'm invested in helping people, that I've got I've got my focus right. And I'm okay with that, but it doesn't bother me at all. You know, I had a doctor tell me that he felt threatened by me before because of my knowledge of the endocrine system. And I was like, but wait a minute, I just want to help. I just want to compliment what you're doing. He was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I do not want to work with you. No, thank you. You will make me look bad. And that was defeating to me. It was like, really, I'm not here to step on your toes, right? So I think we need to remember, and I see all of the comments in the chat, and I will go back to that in just a second, as soon as I finish this. I think what we need to just keep in mind is that, again, stay focused with your own business. Don't worry about what's happening outside of us. If you are practicing safely, there's no reason to feel stressed out. How do we move forward? We just keep doing our own job and we stay in our lane, right? And stay with our scope of profession as we see it to be. So for me, the scope of profession is basically using, resources, suggestions, and recommendations, and inspiring and empowering people to take action and letting them know that they're accountable for the decisions that they make. This is safe practice. I have an entire week in my course developed to this. I have an entire course developed on safety because I want, and let me say this too, I want doctors and dietitians and nutritionists and Reiki masters and chiropractors and herbalists. What herbology is the study of it, right? Anyway, I want everybody to start understanding that we all have a place in the wellness industry. We all have a place where we can be helpful and we can guide people, and we can all be doing this in a collaborative way. The problem and the divide comes in between us when we start worrying about what everybody else is doing. How do we move forward? Keep doing what you're doing, Claudia, because you're making a huge impact. I know you are. And I see all these other coaches too. They're not looking right or left. So don't get off track by looking right or left. Stay the course. Stay focused on what you're doing. Don't worry about what other people are doing. And why would you walk on eggshells? Tell me why you would walk on eggshells. Because really, in all honesty, if you're doing the right, if you're staying safe and you're sharing resources and all of that stuff, there's no eggshells to walk on here. And I see you're on. Okay, good, you're on. Yeah, and so let's dig in a little bit to why it's getting to you. Why are we bothered by this stuff? I'm going to use my own example again, going back to when I was a health coach. And I just wrote a post about this actually in one of the groups, a different group with doctors and stuff. But, where I started health coaching was a different city than I'm in now. I lived there for many, many years. I call it like, the town of chitlin suppers and chicken livers at the gas station kind of place, you guys. This is a large city in the state of Tennessee, fifth largest city in the state of Tennessee. And if you guys are a student of mine or you know me well, I've told you this before. People ate out of gas stations and they still do. They would gather around a chitlin supper where people would get together and boil chitlins. I ain't going to even explain what those are. You can look it up if you want to, but just know Southern town, Southern mentality, the more grease and goo and stuff that you can put in your food, the better. And so I was working really hard and struggling against a lot of the things that were deep-seated, generations and generations of beliefs about how Southerners should be eating. That's where I started health coaching. And let me tell you, I had no social media presence. I had no mentor. Health coaching didn't even, in my mind, I didn't even know what it was called. I didn't do any advertising. It was all word of mouth. And I was fighting upstream constantly. Even my own in-laws thought what I did was a hobby, and it was bullshit, for lack of a better term. But I plugged forward. I kept pushing forward and I plugged along because I knew that what I could tell people and what I could share could make a difference. And I did not want to get sidetracked by anybody telling me I couldn't do it. So that was one thing that I battled against. The other thing that started to happen when multi-level marketing products became really big, and you guys, I don't know, I can't even remember the year that this really started to happen. Maybe I started to pay really close attention around 2011, maybe 2010. And I started to see, Thrive and Arbonne and, oh my God, Advocare. I got unfriended by more people selling Advocare that I had been friends with since my son was a tiny little guy. Our kids used to play together because of the way that I practice health coaching and the stuff that the shit that they were selling. So I was very vocal about it. I'm like, they contacted me. Well, would you be interested in working underneath me? No, I believe in a whole food approach and a whole lifestyle approach. That stuff is just a recipe for disaster. So let me just say, I got my panties in a twist about it. I went out on, in public and social media and everywhere I was talking about it and just, so what was it that made me do that and get upset? It was my ego. My ego was taking over because I felt like they might get 1 foot ahead of me, that I wanted the world to know that stuff was just crap and that I had something better to offer. My ego came in and took over and got me literally sidetracked from what I was doing with my business and totally focused on proving people wrong. Okay. So why did the ego come in? Because as I've talked about before and will continue to talk about, we make decisions from our heart or our ego. I was making decisions and doing things from an ego-centered place instead of saying, if this works for them, that's great. If they think this is the best thing for them, that's great. If they're developing an audience and getting people to stop going through Wendy's, I should be happy for that. Instead, I was over here, going, oh my gosh, you don't know, that's the thing is we have 2 places we make decisions from, you guys, the heart or the ego. And my ego got all up in there. Not only that, but I wanted my business to grow even more. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to make more of an impact. And back in that time frame, I thought that was the way that it was to be done, is to show that I know more and this is the way it's supposed to be done and all of that. When in reality, I was just alienating myself from people maybe down the road that would hire me or want to work with me outside of that product, right? And so when I realized that I was wasting my time on that and I got back on focus, everything started to change even better, even more. And then guess what happened? I started getting phone calls and messages and emails and Facebook from people who had tried those products and gotten sicker or fatter or felt worse. And when I'd get to their house, this was back when I was doing pantry clean outs and coaching from their homes, I would open up their pantry and I would see all of the Advocare products or the It Works stuff. And I would say, okay, when do you remember your health not, taking a turn for the worse? Right after I started using that crap. So it always works itself out is what I'm getting to. Everything always works itself out. So anyway, so that was where mine was coming from. And Claudia says, yeah, I definitely want to be perceived as a professional with adequate education. So my ego too, of course. And that's just the way it is. It is because we feel like we have to defend ourselves. I'm a health coach. I know what I'm talking about. I don't rely on these quick fixes. Again, it's that ego coming in. And again, here's the other thing. It is human nature. Linda says it's human nature, but it doesn't have to be human nature, right? Again, heart, ego, where are we making decisions from? So let's just remember that the next time we see someone out there going, don't hire a health coach. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't have a degree. I went to school for 6 years or whatever it is. Let's just look at those posts and say, whatever it is in you that gives you calmness. For me, I just send love. Anytime I see something negative or something that seems to be a passive aggressive sort of attack on me or my profession or you guys, because I see it happening out there, I just look at whoever's posting that in my mind. And I literally, that's what I do. I just say, I send love. And then I move on. And it never comes back into my mind again unless someone brings it to my attention. So I want you to try to think about it like this is, and this is another thing. If we want to see change, if we want to start making a difference and we want things to shift in the direction of whole food, in the direction of all of us collaborating together, in the direction of all of us appreciating and partnering and lifting each other up in the wellness industry, then we need to start with that, right? We need to start that. It has to come from us. It absolutely has to come from us. So even if you want to engage back and forth, right? If you feel compelled or pulled to engage back and forth with someone about a conversation about why health coaches are beneficial, we do it from a place of heart-centeredness. We come from over here. Because when we come from over here, we start defending ourselves and sticking up for ourselves. And I'm not going to take that. That's all ego. If we come from over here and we say, I can so appreciate your concerns. And, I really understand and it resonates with me because I've had my own concerns about other professions that claim to know more about health and wellness than they do. So I hear you, but let me reassure you, I value what you offer. And I think what you do is so important to helping people. And I appreciate your insight. And that's it. And then you move on, and it no longer carries the weight. And then we don't have to worry, and we don't have to tiptoe, and we don't have to worry about walking on eggshells or glass or whatever. Again, that's the difference when we come from here and we come from here. The delivery is different. We shift the energy, we change, we show people that collaboration is more important than competition. And you know what? It really softens people quite a bit when you just come back with something like that. So my recommendation when she says, you know, Claudia says, how do we move forward? That's how we move forward. Before we speak, before we type, before we reply, we think about where do we want to come from and how do we come from that space in a way that doesn't make someone else feel threatened or unworthy or mad or defensive or angry. That's how we respond. And to go back up, and let me take a sip of my coffee before it gets cold. That's really good. She says, do we fault all the schools not giving the right info on how to practice safely? Well, I went that route too. It's why I opened the Institute for Functional Health Coaching, because I just saw right and left, top to bottom, health coaches doing so much stuff out there that could have got them in trouble. Oh my God. It used to make me crazy. And then I figured out, you know what? Instead of complaining, I'm going to create a school that covers all of this so that health coaches have a safe place to land and learn, and that they feel confident in what they're doing. So instead of going out and fighting against these schools, and I actually even tried to partner with a couple of them. And let me just say that one of the top schools in the country, the only thing they cared about was the money. And I said, I don't want to collaborate with somebody who only cares about money and doesn't care about the coach or their success. No, thank you. But what I can tell you is that since starting to teach safety about 4.5 or 5 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, before the school opened, I have started to see more schools step up and take note. And I've even been hired by a couple of them to teach safety to their students. So am I threatened by anyone because they're like, now I'm going to start a safety course? No, I'm not. I'm like, good, excellent. It's not going to be anything like what I teach because I'm a health coach that's still working in the industry, but at least they see that it's important, right? I feel an obligation to coaches as an educator and a mentor to health coaches. I feel an obligation to coaches and doctors and practitioners, because I've started working with them as well, to provide information that makes them feel confident, that lets them know that someone's got their back, that is here to help guide and answer questions. So my obligation to coaches and to the wellness industry is to make sure that we are collaborating, we are partnering, we are supporting each other, that we are moving the energy from a different place, and that you guys feel that you have the support that you need and that you're practicing safely. So I love this topic, Claudia, as always great points. Okay, going over to take a peek. Hi to everybody. Thank you for sharing information. Okay, good. New coaches, seasoned coaches. I see some students. I see some people that have been following me for a few years. Yay. Okay, good. All right. Personal trainer, setting up to launch business for March 2020. Excellent. Oh, egg yolk. Oh, I don't know if I could put egg yolk in my coffee, Tom. Cinnamon, yes, but not an egg yolk. No. Woo. Let's see here. Going through. Hey, Carmen. Hi, Gina. Yes, love the health coach mentorship group. Me too. It's my home away from home. Okay. Don't promote myself as such at this time. Anita, promoting perinatal services, lactation consulting. Oh, that's awesome. Hypnotherapist specializing in birth trauma and fertility. That is fantastic. That's a great little niche to get into for sure. Okay. My candid conversation starter is this, Linda says, I feel like I used to get more clients when I gave some things away on the strategy call. I started keeping my 15-minute call to interviewing, just getting to know each other, staying short and sweet, and sending my feeds and services. I'm not getting too many clients. Thoughts about that? Oh, yes, I definitely have thoughts about that. So for those of you who don't know and aren't a student and haven't done any of my training in the past, I recommend a 15 to 20-minute introductory call where we get on the phone call with someone. We just learn about what they're looking for, why they're coming to us. Tell me a little bit about yourself, etc. I do not recommend looking at health histories or someone's, familial history and getting into conversations about problems, conditions, or health issues for many reasons. And I've trained on this ad nauseum, but the main one being is that it's not safe, right? It's not safe to do that until we have disclaimers signed, client agreements, and we understand what we're dealing with here, and they've actually paid to become a client. Another reason why is because I don't believe in giving things away until someone signs up with us, giving things away that can actually give them any kind of a solution, because you're worth getting paid for that. Okay. So when it comes to as the fact that you were giving away, let's see here. Let's see. You said you were giving things away on a strategy call. Okay. So a strategy call is different to me than just gathering information. Like if you're strategizing on how to help somebody, that means that you are in the process of working with them, strategizing how to overcome certain problems and all of that. Strategy is very different from just a meet and greet, get to know me kind of thing. So I don't know that I would even call it a strategy call, because when you do that, you're setting it up for them to believe that they're getting something to start taking steps forward before they even work with you. So I don't necessarily like the idea of the word strategy call. So here's my thing with that also. Why would you give them something in the front end before they even start working with you? Because what if, right? What if you're giving them a downloadable ebook or an outline on how to sleep better and all of that? And then they forget that later on, maybe 4 weeks after they've tried something you've given to them, or 6 weeks or whatever it is, maybe they're like, well, I'm sleeping a little bit better. I'd really like to take it further, but I can't find the information, or I can't remember who I talked to. Or we have to remember that many times when people are out there looking to work with people, it's not just you that they're interviewing or having a conversation with. They're talking to doctors. They're reaching out to energy healers. They're having consultations and discovery calls with other people. So if you're giving them something, they get a little bit of relief from it, but they're still not where they want to be, and they don't remember where they got their information from or whatever, they're going to still go out and find somebody to help them with the other pieces of their health, right? So that's one, small reason that I'm not a fan of giving things away. The other thing is if you're giving something away on a call, are you gathering their email list so that you can nurture them in the future? I would prefer instead that you say, I'm going to go ahead and send you a copy of my fees and services and the intake form. Once you take a look at which, service that you choose and you fill the intake form out, send it right back to me and we'll get started. Like, how are you closing the call? I would prefer you to even say to them, and don't forget to go out to my website and you can download my free 3-step guide to sleeping better or whatever. At least you're gathering that email address, you're getting the email address, and they're dropped into hopefully a funnel system that you've got to nurture them so they remember that you're there, right? So just sending them an email downloadable guide or a free product is not a great way to stay in touch, and it's not a great way to nurture them and bring them back to you when they're ready to work with you. The other thing is, and again, let's go back to how do you close the call? So it's different. This is one of the hardest things for me is bringing people in to teach coaches how to close calls, right? How to close a call. Sounds like closing a car deal. It's not the same thing as closing a product or signing someone up for a program. Trust me, I've done plenty of sales calls in my time. But what it is it's a method of conversation. And again, kind of some neuro-linguistic programming, so to speak. So when you send them that form, when you wrap up the call and you say, it sounds like you've got a lot of things that you're concerned about, I absolutely will be thrilled to help walk you through those things in a way that feels good to you, in a low stress way, financially. And you guys know the drill: low stress financially, emotionally, and physically, and mentally. We want to help people in that way. Think about the language that you're using. Are you guiding them into a place of yes, right? So using that kind of language and guiding them to a yes takes a little bit of practice, and it takes a little bit of, what feels good to you, what's organically coming out of you to make that conversation feel good when you end it. So that's something that I would be thinking about more than you giving something away and thinking it's that. I don't think it's that you're giving something away. I think it's time to kind of maybe look at how you are leading them into that yes place. So we can talk more about it if you want to share more information, absolutely. And we can talk about it on the call tomorrow for students as well, because I am going to be showing you guys how to do to set up a program or a membership type of thing. We're going to walk through that tomorrow on the call. Okay. Does that make sense, Linda? Let me know if that's making sense. Okay. Susan, hi, I'm new to you. Yay. Good. Welcome here. Welcome to me. I'm happy to have you. I'm a health coach, IIN graduate, started my own health coaching practice going on year 2. 10-day clean eating jumpstart beginning on Monday, small email list, and have over tapped into them so many times. What does that mean? Does that mean that you've sent them too many emails? Is that what you're saying? Tell me more. Want to get more people to sign up so I could schedule a free webinar, clean eating on 114. All right. Promoting both together, independent. Okay. You know what? There's a lot of information here. Okay. So let me just say this. Right now, you have one person signed up for a webinar, 3 for a jumpstart. Best way to get people signed up for both things or promote them. So you're promoting 2 things at one time? Tell me that. So Susan, you know what I would like to do? I'd love to have a conversation. Let's use this moment for just a second. And let me see if I can promote you to panelists. Y'all, this is how I want to do things in the future. So if you're going to join me in calls in the future, just be patient with me here while I figure this out. So here you are, attendees. Oh, there. Okay. So Susan, are you open to having a conversation? Because if you are, I'm gonna tag you here. I'm gonna put you on allow to talk. Okay. So all you have to do right now, Susan, if you want to have a conversation, is unmute your microphone. Since I figured this out, yay me.
Can you hear me?
I can. Oh, yay! Aren't we smart?
I hope you can't see me.
Is your video off?
I don't know. Can you see me?
No, I can see Susan Sagan. Is that how you say your name?
Yeah. Thank you for answering my question.
Absolutely. Okay. So just kind of give me a real, give me a 20-second synopsis. Do you have 2 programs going or 1 or what? Clarify that for me.
So I have a jumpstart program that I've already created. I've done it before with other people. It's been very successful. I want to do it again in the beginning of the year to kick off the new year. A lot of my people have already done the program. So a lot of the people on my email list have already participated or have seen multiple emails about clean eating and the program and my webinars and stuff. So I feel like I've kind of tapped into them already. Okay. And I have the 3 people that have signed up are actually people that have returned. So I'm tapping into all my people that have participated, but I want to get new people. So I decided to do a webinar because I just wanted to try to get some new faces. And I have no problem doing the webinar. I have all the information ready, but I just don't know how to promote it because I feel like I'm cannibalizing each one by putting everything together, and it's confusing in all my messaging. That's kind of where I am. And it's kind of the clock is ticking because the webinar is a week from today. Okay. Okay. Totally get where you are now. Okay. So here's one thing I want to ask you. Do you have your email list segmented so the people that have already done this program? Okay. Yep. And I have specific emails that I've crafted for each that are different based on that.
Okay. So why are you sending that email to those people again then, I guess is my question.
Because for some reason, a lot of people keep coming back program after program. Okay. So I don't want to discredit them for, there's no reason for them to come to the webinar because they would already know all that information. But a lot of them like to participate over and over. Okay. All right. So accountable.
Yeah, I hear you. So you feel like you're kind of oversaturating your people that are already on your list with the same information, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So are you doing anything in those emails to add value and offer something valuable for them, or is it just pitching?
I offered for the people that have already participated a recipe book that I put together with different smoothies and stuff that they can eat.
Okay, so to me, this sounds like a little bit confusing when it comes to segmentation and all of that. So if you have people, what I would do in this situation, and I'll give you some tips about timing too, as far as promoting. But if I were you, what I would probably do is I would send an email just to the people who have already participated and ask them if they want to remain on that particular list. So that's one thing I would do. I would make sure that they want to, because what you don't want to happen, Susan, is you to be, like you said, kind of tapping into them and oversaturating, and them to leave because they're tired of it, kind of thing. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Good point.
Because you want to keep them, obviously, because you're going to be offering different things and opportunities. Yeah. So I would send an email just to them and say, if you want to be left on this list, please reply. And then I would completely start a brand new list just for this particular program, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have the private Facebook groups from the Jumpstarts from the past with the people in them. So I posted to them also there. And then regular posts on my regular business page.
Okay. So the other thing to think about is maybe they don't even need an email then, but to just let them know you can find out all information in the private Facebook group. But I would absolutely try to segment those people off of that list completely somehow. Yeah, I would do that first. But the other thing I want to say is this too, is so your webinar is coming up on 1/14. I would invite them to join the webinar if they want to. I would let them know that it's going to be talking about the program they're already a part of, but welcome them, because here's what can happen when you have people who have already been through a program and they join a webinar where new people are going to be. They will start to talk.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, totally. So I wouldn't say you don't have to come. I would say, would love to have you on there. Feel free to talk about how the program has helped you. Encourage them that way as well.
That has worked in my advantage in the past.
Perfect. Yeah. So keep that. So kind of keep that there. But I would just put some thought into how you want to continue to communicate with them so you don't lose them to that oversaturation, right? You don't want to exhaust them. Okay. The other thing is this is, so I would be promoting only the webinar. Okay. So, because if you promote two things, it's going to, because I got confused just reading it and it's going to confuse. Yeah. So promote the webinar, only the webinar. And I would not start promoting. I would probably only promote 5 to 7 days ahead of time. So I wouldn't, you're in the window, but it's not like tick, tick, tick. Oh my God, what do I do? Right. You've at least got a day or even maybe 2 to figure out, how to go about fixing this and how to go about really uber focusing on just promoting that webinar. Let's see here. Where are you promoting, by the way? Where are you putting that?
The webinar, I've been doing emails and I created an event on Facebook, and I also have been doing posts on Facebook. Okay.
Have you gone live yet?
I went live twice.
Okay. So I would go live every single day until the webinar.
Oy.
I know, right? You're like, and this coming from the person that says, can you see me? I hope you can't see me, right? And here I am.
Well, no, just because I'm like, normally I'd be fine.
Okay.
And
so,
when I go live, how long do I talk?
Oh, I would just stay on for a couple of minutes. So go on live, and this is a formula anybody can use, and it's one that I teach in my school and everywhere. So when you're doing something live and you're leading to a free, webinar or even a paid product or something like that, you want to follow a formula that makes sense. So you want to talk about the problem, right? Pick a problem, like, so you're talking, what are you talking about here? Let me look back. Okay. So maybe the problem is, weight gain, I'm so tired of that topic. Not knowing how to start eating clean. The problem is that most people are eating the standard American diet. Okay. Yep. So you can hop on and say, join me live, and I'm just roll with me here. I'm going to throw out a hypothetical. Join me live at 2:00 on Tuesday. I'm going to talk about what standard American, what it means to eat a standard American diet and how it's affecting your health. Okay. People are going to come on. So the problem is that people are eating a standard American diet. Okay. What are the pain points of a standard American diet? Oh my God. I mean, there's thousands of them. So pick a couple, right? Speak to your audience's pain points. You can talk to them about causes digestive distress. It causes weight gain. It causes moodiness, whatever it is that you feel. So problem, pain point. Then talk a little bit about your own experience, because we didn't come out of the womb eating spinach, right? I mean, most of us didn't. Okay. So there's probably been a time in your life where you might have been eating a standard American diet, even if it was for a month or two. You can say, I remember when I was stressed out and overwhelmed and didn't have time to cook, and this is what I did, right? A little bit about your experience. We're talking like a minute, 60 seconds on each one of these types of things, right? So problem, pain point, experience. Then what would the potential be for this person or these people listening to you if they didn't eat that way? Oh my gosh, increased energy, improved sleep, more time spent around a dinner table with your family. Like, talk about the potential or possibility, whichever one you want to call it. So again, I always repeat this formula because people ask me to, but what's the problem? What are the pain points? What's your experience? What's the potential or possibility? Give them a tiny little action step for value. Like, so when I get done with this live and I hang up, what I would love for you to do is to post in the comments below what's your favorite standard American food. Give them an action step of some sort to keep them engaged. Okay. Then provide the solution. What's the solution? Your webinar. Okay. So you finish it up by telling them, if you want to learn more about how, what the standard American diet really is, how it's deeply affecting your health, and take this topic further, join me for my webinar on January the 14th at 2:00 Eastern time. I'm going to share all kinds of information and give away something for free at the very end. Okay. So do you see the formula, how it is, how it leads? Because here's the problem. Here's what's happening. People are giving the solution during the live or during the free webinar or whatever. The solution is you. So when health coaches worry or wonder, how do I sell myself? I don't want to be pitchy. I don't want to be salesy. I don't like being sold to. Well, guess what? You're your product, right? Yeah. So don't think of yourself as a pitching salesperson and get all cringy about it. see yourself as the solution to the pain points that they're experiencing, and that you're sharing your pain points with them. It's a beautiful formula that leads to the solution, which is your services or your program.
Yeah. So like the two live that I did recently, I was on vacation. So I did one like when I was at the buffet and the challenges of, just food all around. And then I did one on hydration, but I can't. So I have to come up with different topics every single day, you're saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's easy peasy. You can do that with your eyes closed.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but stick with things that are going to be tied into this webinar. So if it's a jumpstart where you kind of teach people to, remove, I don't know, inflammatory foods like gluten and soy, then one of the topics might be gluten, what gluten really is, and then again, problem, pain points, experience, potential, action, step, solution on gluten.
But you give actual tips and points or and teach?
Nope. The only thing I do is to educate them. So that's what that's the other thing is when we think about ourselves, we think about the solution when we're talking, we give away too much. But when we educate them on what the problem is, what's the problem? What is gluten? Well, it's this, and this is what it does, and this is how you can be affected by it. You're not giving them an answer or a solution or anything that can fix their problem. You're educating them on the possibility that this could be what's going on with them, and this is what life could be like if they learn more about it, right? And then the solution is you. So if, I don't know what's in your Jumpstart program, but I assume it's probably leading people away from that standard American lifestyle, right? And into a whole food lifestyle. So pick topics from the program, speak briefly and educate them about those things, and then lead to the solution of joining you at that webinar.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's that. And this is, again, I've done training on this too, how to stop the brain pickers. Brain pickers are the people that are going to jump onto your live and they're going to ask you, but what would you do about this? But what are you going to do about this? But what do you say I should do about this? And the answer for that is not, oh God, I better answer them or I'm going to lose them. No, the answer is this. Great question. There are lots of concerns about that because it can cause this, blah, 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 blah. Join me for the webinar and let's see if I can address those things further during that presentation.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we never, and I think another thing I want to say, and this is a great question and conversation, is that many times health coaches will give information out of fear, and they'll answer and they'll give it all away out of fear that they're going to, number one, lose that person as an audience or a potential client or whatever. And that happens on the free consultation call too. The person might go, they might say something like, but hold on just a second. Can you tell me if you think metformin or berberine is better for blood sugar? And that'll hook a coach in every time that is living in a lack mindset of lack or worry or fear, right? Yeah. They'll automatically be like, oh gosh, if I give them this information, they'll sign up with me. No, they won't. They're going to say, fantastic. She likes berberine better than metformin. Boom, winning, just got some free information, and you won't see them again. Same thing with live events, same thing with webinars, all of that. So just always remember that you are the solution. All you're trying to do is educate them into the solution where you get that email and you can provide that value that you want to. It's not trickery. It's not anybody, being deceitful. It's just you protecting yourself, protecting your income and your business, and still providing really valuable information.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yeah. And then you would, should I do post also in emails or just the live?
I would do the live in my business and I would share it to wherever you can share it, into your groups, into your personal page. But if you're building an audience from your personal audience, then I would do it live on there. And then I would save it and I'd send it out in an email.
And do you believe in just doing it on my work page, or should I do it on my personal page too?
Anywhere. If you, I don't believe that there's anything that's the other thing is people are like, well, I don't want to mix my personal with my business. It's social media. Like if you want to build your audience, people are going to have to get to know you. So I'm a fan of going live on personal pages, business pages, wherever you're going to get the most traction. And if you're brand new and you don't have a big following on your business page, then maybe when you can do your live on your personal page, but let them know, say, hey, I'd love it if you'd go over and like my business page. Eventually that's where I'm going to be, broadcasting from. So please don't forget, go over there and like the page so you don't miss anything. You can direct people there, but until you grow your audience, stay in your personal page.
And what about, instead of doing live videos, if you do a video and then upload it and do a watch party?
You can, but the thing is for me is that's more steps for you, first of all, right? So doing the video, recording it, uploading or loading it there and all that, that's more steps for you. But it's like a split testing with an email. What works best for you? Do both and see which one you feel better in, because
Okay.
whichever you feel better in is what's going to attract more people. And because people can sense that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't do anything with the Jumpstart until after the webinar?
I mean, the webinar should lead to the Jumpstart.
Correct.
Okay, so then that's your pitch point right there. The webinar is all the value that leads to your, so I wouldn't.
But like, as far as just promoting the Jumpstart alone, I shouldn't promote it at all until after the webinar's over?
I wouldn't. That's not gonna get people signed up for a webinar. You're gonna lose emails that way. You're gonna lose audience that way. People are gonna start asking more questions. Is this the same thing? I don't know if that's the same thing. And then it doesn't make sense. Okay. Because it's really one thing. The webinar leads to the program. So it's not the program and the webinar. The webinar leads to the program. It's one thing.
Okay.
That makes sense? All good?
Yep, all good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Yep. Scrolling down. Let me see here what people are talking about. Blend it in. Tom, I can't do it. No, I tried that one time and I gagged so badly. I don't know if that's because my vagus nerve is so strong. I don't know, but it gagged me to eat an egg yolk raw. Okay. Okay. So you give a few tips on health on the call, Linda. Yeah, I used to give them. I would not go back to doing that again. No, absolutely not. No way. I just wouldn't. I would really evaluate how you are closing that free call. That's how I would really look at that. Okay. So hold on a moment here. Let me scroll down a bit and see what I've got. So Susan, if you'll do me a favor and mute your microphone for me, because I can't figure out how to do that on this end yet. I guess that'll be next week's experiment. Yes, Gina, for tomorrow's student call. Yes, we're gonna look at programming and loading into Thinkific and other programs as well. So, so it's just that you see the contrast in getting paid clients from when I used to give them tips versus when I don't. Well, if you think it works, then I would go back and do it. But I don't know. I guess I would just say, whatever works for you. I can't see how that would work, giving things away before they're signed up. But if you feel like that it worked that way, then go back to what was working, right? Let's see here. I don't see other people's comments. I'd like to connect with Anita. Can't see who she is. I wonder why you can't. Let's take a look here. I'm going to change a setting. Tell me if you can see each other's comments in the chat now. That would be helpful. Okay. Yeah. eBooks only go out for an email address. That's perfect. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So can you guys see it now? Can you see each other's comments in chat? You still don't see them. It says to all panelists and attendees. That makes absolutely no sense. I don't know why that's happening. Okay. Nope. Still don't see them. Okay. I don't know why that's happening, you guys. I have no clue. But not seeing them either. That's so strange. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. My settings are on to all panelists and attendees. Click on the chat button. Okay. Lori sees them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Everybody should be able to see them. Perfect. Yeah. I think I'm seeing some of the comments, but not all. That would not make any sense. It's all panelists and attendees. Okay. All right. Carmen, where did you get your mug? TJ Maxx. I get all of my mugs at TJ Maxx. Yeah. It says on the inside, what you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. What you think, you become. That's what the inside of the cup says. Can you see that? I'm a coffee cup fanatic. I absolutely love, love, love coffee cups. Unless someone gives me one for a gift, then I get a gift. But TJ Maxx is where I go and get all my cups. And then when I get tired of them, as long as they're in good shape, I give them to friends because people always love my mugs, which is hilarious. But okay. All right. So I want to go back one more time, and I just want to wrap up on the conversation of practitioners and coaches and share just a little bit of insight based on my own observations and things like that. But if you have a need, put it in the chat and I'll address it. Absolutely. But I want to say this, you guys, one of the things that I've been working on, and students know this, and so do my mentorship people, is really bridging the gap between coaches and practitioners of all kinds. How do health coaches get into a chiropractor's office and complement their business? How do coaches fit into a practitioner's office when they have their own contracted business? All of that, right? It is all about how we are presenting ourselves. As coaches, we need to be presenting ourselves to practitioners and doctors as a collaborative effort and as a and some people say partnership, and I used to say I don't like that term because it sounds too two medical or like lawyers and attorneys partnership, and it can scare people off, but it's becoming more of a word. So, but collaboration is all about how you bring yourself into a business as someone who is there to offer the value that maybe that they're lacking to provide for somebody, right? So, and I see Latricia's asking a question. I'll come over in just 1 second. But it is about walking in with no agenda other than offering value, having an open mind. Because here's the thing, if we were to walk into, a practitioner's office who has never even heard of a health coach before, we are the first thing, the first person, the first, introduction to health coaching that they've ever heard, and this has happened before to me where I have walked into a clinic and I've said, well, I'm a health coach. And they're like, what exactly is that? What does that mean? So if there are people out there that are confused about what health coaches are because of multi-level marketing and GNC and all that, I do feel like it's kind of one of our duties or obligations to bring clarity to the profession. So to me, again, that means that we are there to inspire, uplift, support people in their journey by collaborating with other wellness professionals and providing suggestions or recommendations for them to take action so that they are accountable, right? In no way is that us going back and taking over anybody's job. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, so just want to say that. So if you are someone walking into practitioner offices and wanting to work with doctors and all of that, I can tell you that there are people out there that have no idea what we do. So when you do this, you guys make sure that you walk in open-minded, there to provide value and say, what can I do to help you? What can I do to support you? But also honoring your own business as well. It's a little bit of a tricky little area. It can get gray if you're not comfortable with it, but put some thought into that. Okay, Latricia says, I'm new and want to do beta tests with some friends. Do you think it's a good idea? Testing is for 6 weeks only. Only 6 weeks? That's a long time. Latricia, what are you testing? Do you want to talk about it? Give me a yes or no in the chat, and then okay, good. So let me go find you, and I'll unplug you here, and we can have a conversation about what it means to beta test. Okay. And you'll have to unmute yourself and then say something so you show up in my window.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, tell me about this 6-week program.
So it's a 6-week program that's going to combine both. So the health coaching as well as exercise. So part 1 is pretty much getting their mind in order. And then the exercise portion is mobility. And then going through what they eat, what their issues are with eating, somewhat of a group participation versus constant individual one-on-one.
Right. Okay. So how many friends are you planning on putting through this through? Have you announced it yet?
I have not announced it yet. I have approximately 6 people in mind, and I want to go to 10 in case some decide not to participate. Okay.
So here's what I would do. I would not do that many people. I would not give this away to that many people. Because here, number one, if you can let's just say you have a group of 4 women or 4 people that go through this program, those 4 people are going to talk and they're going to tell other people about it after it's not a beta test anymore, right? Because you're doing this for free, right?
Correct.
Totally free. Okay. Well, the other thought about this is that you could do it for a small fee. What I don't want you to do is to get in a situation where you've got 10 people that you've invested your energy and time into, and they're half-assed doing this because they're not paying for it. Or maybe they're like, oh my God, I would have paid $200 for this program. And you're like, oh crap. You know what I'm saying? So whenever we do beta testing, I used to call it pro bono, one-on-one type of work or group coaching or whatever. I would keep it really small. I would only do it if people sign a client agreement and disclaimer. And I would only do it if they commit like a regular client would, and that they're willing to do a video testimonial or a testimonial with a picture. So they have to pay some sort of a price, right?
Right.
So,
and that is exactly what I was going to have as part of the conditions.
Yep, that's what I would do, but I would bring this down to like maybe 4 people. And
okay.
I would try to find a way, can you shorten the program? Like maybe do a 4-week program?
Certainly.
Yeah, I would.
Certainly.
Yeah, 6 weeks is a little bit long. Sometimes people kind of, and we got to remember there's that honeymoon phase. The first 7 to 9 days is usually a honeymoon phase. Everybody's excited. Yay, we're doing this. We're supporting each other. The next week is like, yay, really want something different to eat, or, I really want to go back to my old habits or whatever. So it's easier to kind of manage that small group and maybe work out the kinks when you're first starting something like this, and getting feedback from them and making tweaks, so that when you do launch this thing to a larger group of people, you worked out those little pieces. And that's harder to do with so much feedback coming at you. 10 people start giving you feedback and you're going to be like, oh my God, there's more work for me than I planned on. But so that's what I would do. Bring it down a little bit. Do the beta test, 4 weeks, 4 people, something like that. You have a group, right? You're going to open up a group on Facebook, so you don't have to be constantly engaging on email and stuff, right?
Correct.
Okay. And is this going to be an in-person thing?
Not necessarily. All of them live within 25 miles of me. However, that is not the plan. The plan is not necessarily to be one-on-one. I might open it up to one-on-one for a workout or two, because I pretty much have a gym in my garage. However, I don't want that to be the habit.
Okay. I would absolutely establish it as a group. No one-on-ones at all. They can hire you to do the one-on-ones as an extension of the program. Once they get started, some of your people might be like, man, I really need some one-on-one attention. I got some labs back last week that are concerning. I need to work on this. So while you're doing this free beta testing type of thing, make sure that you might throw something in there that says, I'm offering a discount to work one-on-one with me. So if you find that you want more individual attention, I'm giving 50% off one-on-one services or something like that. To anyone that wants to do some, one-on-one work with me. That's just another way to kind of plug it in and maybe make a little bit of money on it as well. And just for them, it's an exclusive offer just for the people that are doing this type of program with you for free.
Fantastic.
Yep. Yeah, you're welcome. Good luck with that. And come back and let us know how it goes. Okay. And just be prepared for that constructive criticism. And another thing you might want to think about doing is doing a survey on SurveyMonkey.
Right.
Yep. And asking them for feedback there too. And then if they, at the end of SurveyMonkey, one of the things that I've found that can be really powerful is to put down there, would you be willing to provide a testimonial? If so, please, note below what you thought, what you loved about this program, or whatever your words are, right? And send your picture to this email. And then at the end of that, you'll they're going to fill it out and you'll have your testimonials, and then you don't have to go out and ask them for it.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
A better plan.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. And I can't see this name. What is this name? Is it Catherine? I can't see it. I hate it when it cuts off the name. I have a closed group. Feel like I keep giving out strategies rather than just education. I don't know how to answer things and not give away information. I actually don't like when I join groups and the owner won't help at all. So I try to and be present, but I don't want to give away information. Is there a formula? Yes. So the formula for responses to questions. So let's see here. There's not a formula for the response to questions except to not give the solution, right? So is this Kathleen? Am I right? Or is it Katie? I wish I could. Oh, Katie. Okay, Katie, I'm going to allow you to talk. You want to chat? Oh, you're using an older version of Zoom, so I need to promote you to panelists to talk. Oh, darn it. Okay, well, I can't do that because I don't know what it's going to do to my camera. Maybe do an update, Katie, if you join us again, update on your Zoom so we can have a conversation. So for now, I'm going to answer the best that I can. So let me bring up a couple of questions as examples and see how I can answer that. So let's say somebody's doing a live on diabetes or something like that. Someone's doing a live on type 2 diabetes and what it is, again, what's the problem? Diabetes, type 2 diabetes. What's the pain point? Oh my gosh, right? Weight gain and unregulated blood sugar and grouchiness when you don't eat and maybe some hypoglycemic things or whatever the pain points are. Your experience maybe working with someone with diabetes, or maybe you've been, struggling with that yourself, whatever that is. Then again, you guys remember, what are the possibilities and potentials? And then, the action step and then the solution. But when the question comes in about type 2 diabetes, and I just reiterated that formula for lives if anybody wants it. So somebody might say to you, let's use the berberine question. Let's just say someone says, I'd really like to get off of metformin. I really am not interested in taking metformin and my doctor wants me to. Let's use that. My doctor wants me to start metformin, but I'm not interested in that. Even though metformin is one of the safer drugs out there, I'm not interested in that. Do you have anything else that you would suggest or recommend? So one of the ways that you can answer that is you can say, of course, I suggest following whatever your doctor tells you to do. However, it's worth researching even further to find out what other herbal remedies or possibilities for supplementation are. I suggest that you go out and do a little research from the functional side on berberine. That's it. Or you can even say, I've heard chromium can be beneficial for blood sugar, period. Right? So you don't go into all the details about those things, because then it's you providing information. You don't share a link to your favorite product on Amazon or anything like that, because that's giving the solution, right? And it also is you basically saying, here, try this, in a way, without a disclaimer or a client agreement or something like that. So the thing is, this is, when you say, I don't like when I join groups and the owner won't help at all, I mean, that, you know, the owner of that group is probably selling a service or a product that you should probably think about paying for, right? So that's just another thing to keep in mind, is that we're all running businesses here. So if we're joining groups to get free information, we can't expect someone to join our group or our live or our programs and want to pay for it. This is part of kind of the, you know, the energetic cycle of money and money mindsets and energy of money and flow and abundance and all of that, where I see a lot of health coaches get stuck. And I would venture to say it's a very high percentage of health coaches aren't successful because they're stuck. And I'm not saying you're stuck. I'm not saying that, Katie. I'm saying that because I don't know. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I don't know. But the large majority of people that I work with and I mentor, they're stuck in their minds about asking for money, feel like they're obligated to give information away for free because it's a service-oriented business and all of this. And we get stuck in our head about all of these things, when in reality, it's business. It's a business. So if you are giving valuable information, high mileage education, details about what could be going on with someone, that's value. Just because you're not individually answering custom questions and personalized questions about their health, that doesn't mean you're not providing value, right? That doesn't mean that you're not giving them something that's worth something. That also means that you're keeping yourself safe, because once we start giving away too much information and we don't have these things signed, we do get ourselves into that gray area where, oh my gosh, did I just say the wrong thing? Did I just give it too much information? Am I telling them what to do? Yes, there's freedom of speech, and yes, there's green states out there that people live in and they're running wild with their green flag. I can say whatever I want, but as I always say, act as if you're working in a red state. Keep your language clean. Don't tell anyone what to do, and just be really careful about how you deliver information. If we're just educating them and we're not giving them actionable strategizing steps to go out and take action on, that's still valuable information. So my thing is this, you guys, I think everyone should, and I have a system: education, preparation, and action. It's a 3-step model for helping people. They need the education to understand why they're making these decisions. They need to get prepared however they feel best to get prepared, right? Whether it's a you know, a real live cookbook or a meal planning online or a Fitbit watch, or, you know, counting their steps on an old clicker, whatever it is. Everyone gets ready for change in a different way. And then they're the ones that take action. So if we use these steps in order, education, preparation, action, we release ourselves of so much liability and risk in our business, you guys. So keeping that in mind when you're worried about whether or not you're actually giving them, you're giving too many strategies or giving them answers. The other question to ask yourself here, Katie, is, are you converting? Do you have a filled practice? Are you making the money that you want to make? Do you have one-on-one clients from giving out strategies, or are they grabbing those strategies and going out and implementing them and just coming back to you for free and picking your brain? So these are questions you need to ask yourself. Have you set your business up so that people are taking advantage of you? Been there, done that, by the way. There's nothing wrong with it if you are. Just make sure you change it. And do you feel good about what you're offering? Are you converting people? Are you converting sales? Are you creating clients? Are you creating groups? What are you doing? And is it coming back to you in the way that you want it to? If it's not, then it's time to change the way we think about what we're doing in our groups and in our lives and things like that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you guys change your settings. Okay. So you have to change your settings, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So just scrolling, you guys are talking. Yep. Okay. Sharing information. Yeah. So I guess maybe I should mention that when we start, that if you want to see other people's comments, you go down and hold on and change it to panelists and attendees. I don't know. Maybe that's the answer. Yeah. Hi, Stan. Good to see you. I'm sorry the plans for the day didn't work out, but it always works out the way it's supposed to, doesn't it? Yep. Okay. So Katie says, right. It's more when there's not a suggestion on what to research. I would love your answer and feel that it's helpful, but not giving away your work. Yeah. So the other thing is this too, is we have to remember that even if we tell somebody that chromium or berberine or whatever is better for blood sugar regulation, or that is something that we might suggest or recommend, they're going to go out there and they're going to put it in Google and they're going to get 10,000 documents on that. They're going to get overwhelmed. They're going to think, oh my God, I don't even know which one to order. There's so much information. I can't. They're going to come back to your group, and that's where they're going to say, I think I'm going to need some guidance because the information out there is overwhelming. So one of my things is that I always say, can we just start underwhelming people? Can we underwhelm them? Because when they get overwhelmed, it's way, way, way stressful on them. So when we give them suggestions, they may go out and try to find the answer, but I can almost guarantee you that they're going to come back to you. If you don't give them the answer in the group, they're going to come back to you and look further into what you have to offer. All right, someone in my group asked me about CBD oil. I posted 3 different articles from respected sources so they have the information to make their own choices. That's great. That's what I would do. I usually stick with 2. One that's, and this is the other thing too with supplements. I also do this. If I'm sharing information about, a product with an actual signed on clients, I stick to 2 resources. One that's middle of the road as far as price and understanding, and the other one that's higher and deeper understanding as well. So I try to keep things to 2. I don't know if that's just an OCD thing from childhood, magic number, I don't know. But 2 is my magic number, 2 resources on most things, unless they ask for it. Okay, yes, thank you. Education and no actionable steps. You can remember that. Yay! Okay, too many brain pickers, that's right. Okay, so you've identified that then. Giving out strategy means that you're giving out too much free information and you're not converting and filling your practice. Education, not actionable steps that are going to provide the solution. Just remember, you guys, you are the solution. You're the solution to the problems that people are having. The key to having people sign up with you or want to hire you is letting them know that you understand the problem, whatever the problem may be, that you see their pain points and you can actually, you understand them. Maybe you've been through it or worked with people with it. Again, experience. That there is a life outside of what they're dealing with. Here's a tiny little action step, and then come on over to me because I'm your solution. I've got more answers for you, right? So the formula works. It works for almost everything if you use it. And even if you have to write it down before you go live, talk about the problem, talk about this, walk through it in your mind, you're ending up with a 5 to 7 minute live or a 5 to 7 minute read for someone if it's a blog or whatever. So even if you're not comfortable going live, you can write a blog on it and use the same type of formula, okay? Just don't write problem, pain point. Don't write that in there. Write in a free organic style that answers to those things. The other thing I want to say about, how to kind of simplify this is you should be cross-posting and cross-using your information. So if you go live on Facebook on a topic, take that topic, download that video, plug it into an email and send it out. So let's just talk about, so earlier when we were talking about leading to a webinar and Susan going live on a topic, she could go live on Facebook on that topic, 5 to 7 minutes or whatever. Download that video real quick, pop it into an email for her audience and says, in case you missed me live on Facebook today, I talked about, the inflammatory properties of gluten. Click the button and watch the video below, and don't forget to join me for my webinar. So she went live in Facebook, but she then grabs that same video, writes one quick sentence, throws it into an email and sends it out to her audience, right? So it's multitasking with social media, so to speak. So I would suggest doing something like that as well. Yeah, we all have way too many brain pickers until we don't. So if we can, if you can change that by making sure that you're using a formula that leads to you as the solution, that will put an end to that. And you can also use nice things that say, if someone is persistent, which I've had that happen in the past too, where they just won't stop asking questions. I thought you were here to help us, blah, 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 blah. You can actually, let them know, listen, I am here to help you. I am interested in seeing people get well. However, this is my business and there is a liability, there is a risk of liability, increased liability if I'm giving out too much information or giving out the wrong kind of information without a signed agreement. There's nothing wrong with that. And I always say, it's like, you're not going to pull your car in to get the oil changed and then they tell you you're done and just drive off. You have to pay for it. This is no different. And we need to make sure that people understand this is a career, whether your spouse, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your friend that, hates that you lost a bunch of weight, whatever they say about what you're doing with your business is not a hobby. We are not health coach hobbyists. That's what I call them. People that give too much information away and allow people to pick their brain for the help for their health. And they've turned it into a hobby, whether it's out of a mindset issue or a fear or whatever it is. You guys, this is not a hobby. It's a real profession, and we need to treat it as such. Okay. All right. It's 1:40. Anybody have any other needs? Give you a minute to put it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll wrap up for today and come back again. And just let me give you a heads up on what's coming up. If you are, if you're not in the school or you're not a member of the mentorship group, if you are, as you know, it's under events. Everything that I do and offer goes under events. So student call tomorrow. Let's see here. And we've got coffee again next Tuesday. Oh, I do have an announcement, actually. It's not in pen and permanent marker yet, but hold on a minute, January the 28th, Summer Bach and I, she's our gut specialist. Summer Bach and I are going to be doing coffee and conversation right here live. She and I are going to be talking to you guys about all of the things that she and I both learned about health coaching, because she's been health coaching as long as I have, and we both started at a time when nobody was actually health coaching and it was a new topic or a new career. So we have a lot of really great insight to share with you guys. We're going to have that organic conversation right here with you guys. Yeah, I love her too. She's fantastic. Summer Bach, and that's on January 28th. Otherwise, it will be me here on the 14th and on the 21st. And that's what I'm going to try to do, is stay live at 12:30 on Tuesdays, unless something comes up and I have to move things around. So feel free to come back and join me. And yeah, got to run. Bye, Linda. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow in class if you're with us. And just thanks for joining me. This is what I love to do. Love to have these conversations, solve problems quickly. Let's do some brainstorming. Let's do some hot seat coaching and get you guys some solutions to your problems. So last thing to announce, I have 2 more positions open for one-on-one mentoring. Reach out to me at carmenhunterhealth@gmail.com. If you are interested in learning more, I only have 2 spots left. I am only offering an introductory discount to work with me. No contracts or anything like that. If you want more information, send me an email. And in the subject line, put no more excuses. Just put no more excuses, because that's what this year is about. No more excuses. There's no reason why we can't be successfully running these health coaching businesses. All right. Yes, these are recorded, and yes, they go out to the replay, and they will be plugged in. I think this one will be plugged into the mentorship group. And I'm not sure if we're putting it in the student group yet or not, but you'll get it on a replay. So if you signed up and registered, it'll come through your email. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. And thank you so much. See you all later. Hi, Jane.